Gun Dog Broker, the most comprehensive website focusing on hunting dogs. If you're looking for health information, lineage, and performance, Gun Dog Broker has what you're looking for. Log on today and find out if your dog is gun dog worthy.
Now, once I get past the S.P.E.N.D program, obviously I'm handling the puppies every day, and at about 3.5, 4 weeks of age, I actually start getting the puppies out on the grass with their mother, an hour or two a day if the weather permits it. At the same time I'm doing that, I actually will take the mother away from the puppies 3 or 4 hours at a time. Some days I may go 5 or 6 hours. And what I'm doing is doing the same thing that happens in nature again.
Right.
Mama goes off to find a rabbit to feed her babies, and it's a bad hunting day. She can't come back until she eats. So if she's gone 6 hours,
right,
it's 6 hours. So I start early separating the mother and puppies because nature would have that happen. And what actually happens, I end up with a better mother. She goes out and enjoys herself, has a good time, and when she comes back to her babies, she's very attentive to them because she's happy. She hadn't gotten bored or upset with them. Frequently dogs that are confined with their puppies will become very irritable sometimes because they just had enough.
Yeah.
All mamas get fed up with their children at some point. Yeah. So yeah, that works. And at about 5.5 weeks of age, I actually introduce those puppies to the odors that they're going to be hunting for the rest of their lives. And
which is important.
Which is very important. And again, I go back to nature and I look at what happens there. In nature, the mother feeds nothing but milk to her babies until they switch to solid food. There is no weaning formula, no mush or no gruel. So what happens is a wild animal goes out, kills an animal, comes back and either chews it up and regurgitates it. Especially if she had to kill it a long way off, she'll generally eat it and then regurgitate it for her puppies. Or if she's close by, she'll bring it back and she may chew on it and then just give it to her babies. I started doing the same thing. So I no longer feed puppies, I let them live on mother's milk. So I don't end up with puppies that grow too fast. They grow at a natural rate based on the mother's health. And what happens is, based on those dogs' genetic potential, they always become full size, and I don't have fat, unhealthy puppies. But at weaning time, I'll actually give these puppies fresh killed quail, and I'll let them carry them around in the kennel. They play with them, they pull on them, and they enjoy them. And it's the first time they smell or enjoy the scent of something they need to look for the rest of their lives to survive on. And it's the way nature teaches it. If a mama brings back a coyote, brings back a rabbit, and those babies eat the rabbit, the first thing they start looking for when they go hunting with mama at 10 weeks old, follow them, they're looking for rabbit scent.
Yeah.
And when they smell it, they know what it is, and they immediately think food. Yeah. Well, the same thing happens with bird dog puppies because they've smelled it early in their life. As soon as I bring them out here in the field, those puppies, when they smell the first bird, they say, "I've smelled that before, and it was fun." Yeah. And they're right in behind quail.
I mean, that, you know, when you look at a lot of puppies, the way they're raised, I mean, the exposure to birds and all that, I mean, that's it may never occur in some breeds.
Well,
I mean,
listen, most kennels are sterile environments. It's concrete and chain link, and they don't see anything. They aren't exposed to anything. And everything I do is to expose the animal at an age-appropriate thing, just like it would happen in nature. And with that, we start clicker training at about 6.5 to 7 weeks of age. And I have actually found that clicker training is a fabulous tool for developing young puppies. Because what happens is at 7 weeks of age, I start with the clicker. Right. And again, I talked about brain growth earlier. The scientists now say that at 6 weeks old, a puppy's brain is 70% in relation to its body weight and body mass. And at 12 weeks old, it's 95% in relation to its body weight. So there's a period of rapid brain growth. And when you actively train during those 5 or 6 weeks, right, what happens is that brain's developing, you're actually helping the brain form neurons and synapses and developing pathways. So you're truly creating a smarter dog by stimulating that puppy's brain while it's developing. And it just, in my opinion, you can't duplicate it. You can't do it later because you have to do it during that period of brain growth. And that's one of the reasons I keep all of my puppies until they're 12 weeks old. I can do a much better job than the average hunting dog owner simply because he doesn't know. And he doesn't have the time or the opportunity. Once I start the clicker training, I spend the first week between 7 and 8 weeks teaching a puppy to come to me with the clicker. And by the end of the week, I'll have him running the length of my training building, 60 feet between two people. And the puppy's 8 weeks old, and he comes to his name and comes to the word here. The following week, I'll teach him to get in a kennel, and by the end of that week, I have puppies that are 8.5, 9 weeks old that will leave my side and go 20 feet away and hop in a kennel and sit there.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it's mind-boggling that they can do that. And what's fun about clicker training is you can actually see those puppies thinking when they're trying to make the right decisions. They'll look at you and they'll look at a kennel and then they'll go that way and you click and treat. The week after that, I actually teach them to stand still on a place board, which is the precursor to learning the whoa command. So by the end of the week, I've got puppies that will stand still up on a place board for 45 seconds or a minute or longer. So in 3 weeks, I've taught them to come to me, to go away from me, and I've taught them to stand still. And the week after that, I'll teach them to walk on a lead. The week after that, I'll teach them to retrieve with the clicker. But the clicker, because it's a system of positive reinforcement, gives you a method to train puppies at a very early age. Now, for people that aren't familiar with clicker training, it's actually the science of positive reinforcement training. And if you've ever been to Sealand or SeaWorld, any of those places, all the dolphins and killer whales, they're all trained with positive reinforcement. It's the same training that scientists have been using to train, whether it's the military seals or porpoises or the sea lions and killer whales. And actually almost every zoo animal now has been clicker trained so that they can handle those animals easier. It is a great system to train, and it's a great system to teach young puppies. I've trained older dogs, but clicker training does not carry well over into the field simply because of the distances involved and the excitement of game. You can train only so far with a clicker, but at some point you still have to deal with the real world. And clicker training, just like training in an aquarium, is in a confined environment. Clicker training works best in a confined environment. Once you turn a bird dog loose and he can go 500 yards away, clicker becomes a non-issue. It just doesn't work.
But this is any breed, hunting breed, non-hunting breed. This is a great way for folks to get engaged with their puppies at an earlier stage.
Well, actually, it's my feeling that a breeder should do this.
Their breeder should do this.
It's something that a breeder can develop the skill to do, whereas individual owners, their skill levels will vary a lot, and getting them to follow through is the hardest part of it. And there's a high-quality breeder. It's a breeder's job to produce a better animal, and this will definitely produce a better animal.
So in your feeling, this is a requirement, or not so much a requirement, but this is something that you would need to look for.
I think this is the next generation of breeding better animals. That's what I really think it is. And it's going to be a slow change because there are a lot of traditions in raising every type of animal, and people are slow to leave them because it's what they've learned. It takes someone that's forward thinking to look for a better way to make things happen. And listen, my program changes on a monthly basis. Every time I find something that works better, I incorporate it, and something that obviously works less, it drops out of the program. Right. And it continues to evolve. And if you think about it, humans, if they're learning, they're evolving. And we all know that the brightest minds continue to evolve until they're 80 years old. Yeah. Now, the last segment of bringing these dogs through the program is actually putting them in the field every day. Shortly, we'll get puppies out, and we'll see puppies from the first day in the field, and we'll see puppies that have been in the field now for about 4.5 weeks, and you'll see how much they change in 4.5 weeks. But from 7 weeks on, 7.5 weeks on, puppies literally come out here every day and explore the environment. And what happens is the first couple of days they're truly exploring the environment. They're chewing on pine straw and leaves and persimmons, but they need to become familiar with that before they start looking for birds. Otherwise they're distracted. So I'll give them a week to get settled into the environment, and then we come out and start with birds. And over a period of 3 or 4 weeks, they go from not knowing what a bird is in the woods to being bird dogs, where they point back and retrieve out here. And it's an amazing development to watch them change from 7 weeks to 12 weeks.
Yeah, we'll be able to see it today. That's going to be really cool to see your program at work and see a 6-week-old litter and a 12-week-old litter and see the difference. So
I can't wait to get puppies out here for you.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.